Valentine's Day is this weekend, a day dedicated to love and being with your loved one. Whether you're married, in a long-term relationship, it might be a good time to talk about securing your future financially. Joining me here in Studio 61, Sylvia Guinan, a Senior Vice President and Financial Advisor for Wells Fargo. Thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, I love being here. Thanks, Erica.
All right, so a lot of people are going to be sitting down for a nice Valentine's Day dinner. Talk a little bit more on how to set the table to have that financial discussion. It can be tough.
It can be tough, and even when you just say financial, it feels like the stress level goes up.
Right.
It does. So I think it's just kind of rebranding it. You know, it could be fun, right? So instead of just like the financial, it's like, you know, our future dreams. Let's talk about our dreams. Let's talk about the future of us. Let's talk about, you know, how we're going to align ourselves for success. So I think it's just the wording makes it so much different and so much more approachable.
Mm-hmm. And that's really important because automatically people start to feel stressed and they tense up, right? So is it about changing the wording?
You know, it is. It's so much about, right, how we kind of word it. And it's so much about also, too, like making the other person feel very comfortable, right? So rather than judging and saying, well, really, why would you want to spend on that or why is that important to you? It's more about, like, help me understand. Like, help me understand why that's important to you. Help me realize, like, what it is about these things that mean a lot to you. And let's work together. Like, let's talk about how we can possibly make those happen.
Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about the planning, we maybe don't have to call it budgeting or finances, but call it future planning, dream planning, things like that?
Yeah, and doesn't that sound so much more fun and approachable?
Sure, yeah.
And I think it is. It's all about setting the stage, right? Because if I said to you, Erica, let's sit down and have a financial conversation, right away you probably have 15 other things you would rather do, and you're dreading it. But you know, I think if you say to someone, you know, your loved one, like, hey, let's sit down and like plan our future. Let's think about what we want to create together. Let's, you know, kind of be mindful about what's important to each of us. It just sounds so much more approachable, and it's so much better, I think, to talk about the goals and the dreams first, right, rather than the dollars and the money.
Right. So once you're talking about the dreams and the goals and really kind of forgetting about the numbers, what do we talk about as far as future-wise? Do we talk about 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What would you suggest?
You know, I always think thinking big is important, right? And it's hard to think big if you have to do it, like, you know, in the next year or two. So I think always starting, like, you know, where do we want to be in 5 years? What would you, ideally, like, what would that look like? Because it makes it less limiting. And then doing, like, a 3-year, you know, a 1-year, even a 6-month, right? It's kind of fun to then bring it down and then make it, you know, more achievable.
And then how do you sort of stay on track and sort of stay in check and help the other person stay in check? Because that can be the difficult part, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, and I think it's great to work with a financial advisor or someone who's kind of going to be a neutral. It's going to be there to listen to the two of you, help put all these things into a financial plan. And then that's kind of like a check-in too, right? Because, you know, you can have all these goals, right? But so often it's hard to see, like, are we on target or not? But when you have it all in your financial plan, then it's an easy check-in and you could see if you are on track. And if not, like, you know, you can kind of make it fun. Well, okay, how do we readjust and get back on track?
It is sometimes an uncomfortable conversation to have, but talk about how important it is to have that and to not wait too long.
It is, and you know, I've seen couples that are now like getting ready to retire, and it's so interesting. They don't even agree on what retirement should look like, right? Which is such a shame. They spend
so
all
you
this
don't want to
time.
get to retirement age to have a conversation about retirement.
But I have other couples that, you know, I've worked with, and they're so adorable. Like, they can't wait to have their annual date night to talk about their goals and their visions and where
that's cool.
And they love it, and they love it, and it's fun meeting with them, and it's fun watching them succeed, right? So, but it is. It's not. It's all about the story we tell ourselves around it and the story we create.
Right. Before we go, I want to say congratulations. You were named recently by Forbes magazine one of the top women wealth managers here in Connecticut. That's very exciting.
Thank you. It was a nice honor, so thank you so much.
And you are going to be speaking at the Junior League in Greenwich. Is that correct?
Yes, at the end of March. And yes, if you're around, we'd love to have you come visit.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yes.
Really important stuff. It is difficult to have that conversation, but so important to do it. Sylvia, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Erica.
Appreciate it.
Always great to be with you.
Thank you. And of course, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, same to you.
Guys, back to you.